All right, this is the Elder Study module. And so another one of my favorites too, very straightforward and very simple. So let me just jump over to my camera and we'll get started. All right, so here we go. So this is one where we're not going to hand the sheet out. We want them to actually write. This is one of those, it's pretty simple and straightforward. So just at the top, just write Elder Study. And so what we're going to do is we're going to what you want to do next is write First Timothy chapter 3 verses 1 through 7, and then Titus chapter 1 6 through 9. Just write that at the top. And then what we're going to do is we're going to write character. And then you can write gifts or skills. Sorry. There. And then over here, put formal education. Okay. All right. And so at each table, what I want your instructions for them to do is to read both of these passages. And as they read the qualifications for an elder, just to write them underneath. And where do they fall? Do they fall into the area of character, or do they fall into the area of a skill or a competency they need to have? Or do they fall in the area of formal education, some type of education? So just give this to the tables. This will take about 15 minutes and let them struggle through this. Don't, this is actually a fascinating exercise of what they consider character, gift, skills, and so forth. So let them kind of struggle through that. So get about 15 minutes, and then they come back, and you basically are at the board. You have this up at the board, and you're you've got your three categories, and as they're writing them, saying them, you're just knocking them out. It's actually a fascinating study. And what you're going to find is basically just the overwhelming message from the elder study if they don't pick up on it. So I tell you what, let them put that thing, and then just have, okay, what are your takeaways from this, guys? Do you see any patterns? And what you're going to see is absolutely overwhelming. It's going to be all in the area of character, almost exclusively. And then a couple people are going to struggle with some gifts or skills, able to manage your home, able to teach. Some of those will obviously kind of, they're in the in-between area, but that's all right. Let them struggle with that. And what you're going to find is there's nothing over in this category. It really didn't exist at the time. Not to say it's bad, but what you're going to see is it's going to be heavily weighted over here, right? A couple things to note, just on us, just if you have time, is that in First Timothy, uh, uh, Timothy is told to identify those who aspire to be an elder, which is interesting. So these are people that are showing they want it. They're making effort. In Titus's case in Cyprus, he's told to appoint, which is kind of law is missed in these two things. So I really don't know that the answer to that, but it's interesting. In this case, most likely Ephesus, we think, was an established church that had been there for a long time. So there was a lot of probably mature believers. And so you probably saw more of a culture of aspiration, aspiring. In this situation, in Titus, he might have been dealing with new church plants. In this case, sometimes it takes an outside, not always, don't, like I said, don't make this a doctrine, but sometimes it takes an outside objective person who's planning the churches to maybe identify those elder types. So it's interesting. One's aspire and the other's appoint. Another interesting note that almost all the character qualities ask of an elder, almost every single one of them, at somewhere else in the New Testament, those qualities are commanded or actually are ascribed to every single believer, which basically means that an elder is a believer that is doing the basics really, really well, and they're following Christ. So again, they write this out, read this, let them discover it. And then, if you just want to say takeaways, then you discuss as a group your major takeaways. Again, you might have to point some of them out. I thought this one was interesting. No one will pick up on that. Aspire in First Timothy and in Titus, they're being appointed. So there you go. That's the elder study. Very simple. All you are is just up the board, kind of leading through this. Do you have any questions or anything wasn't clear? Give me an email or give me a call.